Okay then, so why don't more of us leave the comfort zone if it's clearly beneficial to do so? Well, that's because there's actually a third zone. If someone were to push themselves too far out of their comfort zone, they just might pass the growth zone and go straight into the danger zone. This is why we feel uncomfortable in the first place. There is such a thing as pushing yourself too far. After all, if you exercise too much, you might suffer an injury. If you work too much, you might experience burnout. And discomfort is actually a very useful alarm preventing you from getting hurt, as such an injury would likely set you further back. So it makes perfect sense why most people stay in their comfort zones. They want to avoid the danger zone at all costs. But unfortunately, a lot of people, when they're looking to make a positive change in their life, go straight into the danger zone. One of my friends is like this. A few years ago, he wanted to improve his physical health. With newfound motivation, he joined the gym and made a commitment to lift weights 5 times a week. He also vowed to start a strict diet where he would reduce his caloric intake and cut out all sugar. But within 1 month, he was back to routinely sitting on the couch, watching Netflix and stuffing himself with cookies. Like most people, he took on too much too quickly. And this is a very common occurrence when trying to leave the comfort zone. However, failing to stick to a plan isn't even the worst part. The bigger issue people now have is that because they fail at keeping up with their high expectations, they also feed their belief that it's entirely impossible for them to change and grow. Because of that, they don't even bother trying to improve themselves in the future. In their mind, they are failures who shouldn't try again. So, what's the solution here? How do we make getting out of the comfort zone easier so we can operate in the growth zone, but at the same time avoid the danger zone? Positive change requires moving beyond our comfort zone, yes. However, nowhere does it say all has to be done at once. A far more effective method is to go about it gradually in small and manageable increments. After all, if someone has been completely sedentary and wants to begin exercising, it doesn't make sense to start doing intense weightlifting for 2 hours 5 times a week. Their odds of success are far higher if they just begin with something they're actually capable of doing. Like having a light gym session 3 times a week for 45 minutes. And only once they're able to maintain that, push further. Remember, if you aren't able to commit to a small change, how can you expect to commit to a big one? Just something to think about. Another benefit that comes from doing it gradually is that you create a positive feedback loop. Since you're actually able to do what you set out to do, you give yourself evidence that you can indeed improve and change. And this proof of progress, even if it's small, makes you feel really good and more confident in your abilities. This in turn fuels persistence to push through more challenges further down the path. Basically, success starts to feed on itself and you keep pushing further out of the comfort zone. Also, when you get a positive feedback loop going in one area, it tends to slowly spread to other areas. And this is the third reason why I try to do something difficult every day. Whenever I'm able to do something outside my comfort zone, even if it's just by a little, it kickstarts this positive feedback loop. And just like falling dominoes, success fuels further success. That being said, you shouldn't push past your comfort zone all the time. When I say I do something difficult every day, don't mistake this for me trying to expand in every single area on a daily basis. I might be pushing myself in 1 or 2 areas, but during that time I return back to the comfort zone in other areas. This allows me to maintain my current zone, but also get sufficient rest and recovery. Without rest, I would probably burn out. Yes, over time you want to grow, but you also want to give your comfort zone time to catch up to the new demands. This graph is a rough example of how I believe it should look like. First, you expand your comfort zone by doing something difficult. But you don't keep expanding indefinitely. Instead, when it starts feeling too overwhelming, you lower the difficulty and retract only slightly above what your comfort zone was before. This allows you to get used to the new layer and you let your comfort zone catch up to your new demands, which prevents you from burning out. Only once you've adapted to the new demands and you feel like you're ready to improve again, you push past your new comfort zone. Just like before, once you feel like it's too hard, you retract slightly above the previous point. Essentially, you're consistently challenging yourself, but also coming back for air when it gets too difficult. And you can repeat this process until you reach the level you want to be at. Another way to look at it is to think about the comfort zone as a place of temporary refuge, but not a permanent residence. As you can see, the point of this video isn't to overexert yourself until you can't go any further, Rather, I'm trying to convince you to find a worthy challenge in hopes of bettering yourself at things you care about. Unfortunately, a lot of people give up at the first taste of failure or discomfort, and they never see what they're actually capable of. If you never push yourself to the limit, how can you know where your limit is? Only those who consistently push past their comfort zones and embrace the struggle are able to reach their true potential. So I encourage you to do something today that you find slightly more challenging. Read a few more pages, do a few extra reps at the gym, learn some new words. Try to do something difficult today, and I assure you that you'll become better than yesterday. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like this, make sure to hit that like button. Your support means a lot to me and it helps the channel grow. Anyway, thank you for watching till the very end. More videos are coming and I hope to see you in the next one as well.